health insurance program in order to promote and advance the health of all students and the whole campus community. And in doing so, we're guided by the American College Health Association. They have standards and guidelines for many aspects of campus and student health, including student health insurance programs. I won't go through all of the standards, but I want to just point out a few that I think are probably most, that you may consider the most important. And that is that we do review the plan annually to ensure that the program, first of all, is meeting the needs of the covered students, and secondly, that we're providing the costs, the benefits that you need at the least possible cost. So we're always seeking the best value, but also the best and most appropriate services. And you students as consumers, as well as the student health program staff and other internal and external experts, as appropriate, are involved with the selection, monitoring, and evaluation of the student health insurance and benefits program. The standards for an ideal student, not even ideal, the standards for a student health insurance program is that it should provide coverage for preventive health services, coverage for catastrophic illness or injury. Many student plans only cover catastrophic, but it's important to cover preventative health as well, which ours does, as we'll see. Coverage for your prescription medications, including any behavioral medicine medications. We want to minimize or ideally eliminate any pre-existing condition exclusions or waiting periods. We need to, we're advised to provide a plan that offers coverage for dependents of students, and that includes children, spouses, or domestic partners, to have an opportunity for continuation of coverage if a student should have to take a medically necessary leave of absence, and also a plan which encourages use of the campus health and counseling services, particularly when doing so provides cost-effective and high-quality care for students. Another standard is that the health insurance benefit, this meets our non-discrimination policy, so it must be available to all eligible students, regardless of age, gender, marital status, disability, race, ethnicity, etc. And it's important that you realize that there shouldn't be any relationships that could be construed to be a real or potential conflict of interest with our potential vendors. And I will state at this time that neither the university nor Dr. Patton Wallace nor myself have any financial interest or other relationship with Aetna Student Health to disclose, nor do any members of the Student Health Insurance Committee. So let me tell you a little bit about the history of our student insurance plan. We call this the UT-sponsored Student Health Insurance Program, which is with Aetna Student Health Insurance Company. And we first attempted to merge the student health insurance programs between Main Campus and Health Science Campus for the 2008-2009 academic year. The two campuses had different health insurance vendors, so the potential vendors would only bid on the business, on the proposal, if it was to duplicate the existing plans, although they were willing to consider some enhancements as requested by the university. And so we were successful in negotiating for a 2-year guaranteed no-rate increase with a single vendor, that vendor being Aetna Student Health, and that was for both this year and the previous year. And there was an option to renew for 3 additional years. And when I say we negotiated, that was the Student Health Insurance Advisory Committee. It consisted of administrators, faculty, student government leaders, the Graduate Student Association representatives, Medical Student Association representatives, participate in exploring a possible student health insurance plan with all of the other public universities in Ohio, which with the hope that that would lower costs even more. But the earliest that could be done would be fall of 12. And so what we've done this year is just go, it needs to come down a little bit, but we negotiated with Aetna for a one-year renewal for this coming year, 2010, 2011, or 2 years if they were willing to guarantee the rate for 2 years, which unfortunately they weren't. And as we were preparing for them what we wanted to, how we wanted to slightly modify the plans, we were taking into consideration the concerns that we've heard from students. And the major themes are cost. And we hear that especially from those students who say they never use the insurance. Okay? There's also been considerable issue with insufficient pharmacy, prescription benefit coverage, particularly on the undergraduate, graduate, and law student plan because it has $1,000 maximum each year. It was actually only $750 prior to negotiating this plan, so we upped it to $1,000, but we're still finding a number of students find that that's not enough for their medication needs. And finally, not the insurance itself, but the waiver process has been troublesome for many. So what we did is we came up with, we went to Aetna and we said, okay, we've got 3 different plans. We have an undergraduate, graduate, and law student plan, and then the medical students had 2 plans left over from before. But what we want to do is make it 3 different tiers, so keep the major elements of each of those plans, but open them up to any student so that you could choose the health insurance plan that is best for your needs. And some of the important things, you've got all the details, but I just want to highlight some. The real advantage to all these plans, this is even more robust than the faculty plans, by the way, because the student plan provides for $0 copay and 100% coverage for any covered service if you get it at the University of Toledo Medical Center or at either of the student medical centers on either campus, and if your care is by a University of Toledo physician. So this is a huge benefit. And then the plan maximum, that's the lifetime maximum per injury or illness. Tier 1 is $50,000, and that's what your existing plan is for undergraduate, graduate, and law, and then $250,000 for the second, for the higher levels of coverage. The other differences between the plans, inpatient expenses, and again, you go into a lot of detail in those sheets, but in general, if you get your care done at University of Toledo Medical Center, it's 100% for covered expenses. If you're at any other Aetna preferred facility, you're covered at 80% in Tier 1 or Tier 2, and 100% if you opt for the Tier 3 plan. And if you go to a non-preferred facility as associated by Aetna, your expenses would be covered at 60% in either the Tier 1 or Tier 2, and 70% at the non-preferred facilities. So obviously you want to go in-network, as it's often called. Things that you might be interested in, like physician's office visits or urgent care. Again, if you use the student health services, there's no copay. And if you see a University of Toledo physician at a University of Toledo Medical Center facility, you'll be covered